Good evening, guys. I'm the odd man out. I'm not a designer, but yet I have the liberty to say all the mistakes about the design. So, okay, just quick disclaimer. I'm here to share our own journey and the mistakes that we made. And it's not all we made are mistakes. So please don't judge us and go easy on us. So the way we saw as a design organization. So 4 of our founders, we are all from tech background. Never built a pixel in our entire career, spanning from decade to decade and a half. So, but we had a fair idea about how the screen should look like. The UI element of the screen was what we understood as user experience and everything. So, first, but we also had a fair idea about what kind of a product that we how to build, what kind of a screens that we want to have, what kind of a logo and website and everything, because we come from the product background. We had that specific knowledge. So when we had the initial days of no designer, when we had never built any single pixel in the past, we knew that our first hire has to be a designer. So, and we and our first designer, in our mindset, the first, again, so just to go back, design is very specific to each other. All of us, what I think as design is entirely different than what each one of us might end up thinking. So our first designer that we had in mind was somebody who can create a visual experience for the visual design for Chargebee. That's how we, somebody who would build a good website that looks good, someone who would build our logo, and someone who will build our product screens based on the wireframes that we initial wireframes that we did. So that's how we had. That's what we looked into the first designer. Even if we went back into the way we interviewed that person, we gave a task to design a logo, and we assessed him. Does he build it as layers? How does he name each layers and all of those things? Typically, the engineer would interview someone. So. And we learned that's not the way to evaluate a designer over a period of time. So yeah, so our first designer focused on a lot of visual design. So over a period of time, what happened was we stopped doing the wireframes and started focusing on high-fidelity design for every feature that we want to build and ship out. What happened by resulting in this, by having a visual designer to do the entire product, we collected the design debt. Lot of people from the tech background would know what's a tech debt, but we didn't realize it then. Over a period of 2 years, we realized that what we were collecting was a design debt, and any features that we had to build, we won't be able to overhaul the design. And whenever we want to get closer to the design overhauling, it would be like engineers would say that hey, it's going to take 3 months to do the overhauling of the design, and that forces us to go back into okay, let's try to retrofit into the existing design that we have. So we just have to add a text field, we have to add a checkbox, we have to add one more button, just get done with that. That's how we approached the design for quite some time. So now, the right designer. So the entire talk is all about how the right designer to be part of the business, seat at the table for the business. So what the right designer can do to the organization is what I want to talk about here. So the right designer would question everybody about the reason behind the solution that an engineer or a product person presented. A right designer is a peer to someone who owns the entire product. Every organization should have a designer who acts as a peer to the product is what we learned over a period of time that who's the right designer. The right designer would focus on not on the feedback that someone gives on the UI, like hey, the button color should be yellow or move the button from place A to place B. I would rather ask, why do you say so, right? So those are the things that a right designer would bring to the table. So and the right designer would always be curious about wanting to know about what is the problem that we are trying to solve. Why are we building this? That why question, several layers of why question until he gets convinced that, okay, I have a fair clarity about the problem. Now I have the liberty to go and explore different ways of solving this problem, just not based on one screen and a form. He might split the same form into several things, okay, based on his understanding of the problem. That shift will happen when you have the right designer. just want to quickly touch on the connection, when the connection between the design and business happened at Chargebee. So when when we are exploring new features in any product, probably none of the competitors are having, but you have a fair idea that, hey, this is a very good innovative feature that we should build it for our customer. We don't have any idea of reference, how it will look like and anything, but it's just a problem. So when you bring a designer into those conversations, the kind of a solution that a designer can bring to the table, none of the product or engineering would have been able to imagine. So how often, the more often you go through such experience, you will have a clarity that, okay, there is a connection between the design and the business has happened at any place. We, as entrepreneurs, we all have to notice for such things in our journey, that where does you have come across an excellent solution that none of us has thought about, but a designer is able to table it. That doesn't come from just low level brief, that comes from the context about the problem. How do we all learn to look for that is something that we need to do. For some of, when Praveen joined in early 2015, initial 18 months of the time I spent on fighting against the inertia of changing the way people behave in the organization. For example, we do a lot of internal reviews to show the product screen that's going to go out of the doors to the customer. A lot of developers would come and say that, hey, make this change on the UI and make this text and everything. But as an entrepreneur, we also have to watch out for such way of giving feedback. How do we step in and say that, hey, help them with the right feedback? Okay. And how do we continuously look for, not for opinions, but for feedback? So opinions are like, hey, this doesn't look good. Nobody can go and fix anything when someone says that it doesn't look good. How can we make that statement doesn't look good into a specific feature? What part of the UX, UI doesn't look good? What part of an experience that is not gelling well in your opinion? How do we surface those aspects is what is very, very important. Now, once you latch on to that and you feel that you have the right designer, how do you, as a founders, how do you make sure that you back them up and who is continuously learning from outside? Now, over the period of 4 years, the initial 2 years we spent in fighting against the inertia and ensuring that we get the team to the level where we all focus on about the design thinking is what is design thinking, right? So continuously obsessed about how the customer experience, and you continuously look into the feedback not through as opinions, as whether it's right or wrong, it's ugly or looks good. How do you transform into specific areas of feedback, and how do you make every one of them, like engineers or a product, to think about, hey, how a typical designer should solve this problem and all of those aspects. So now through these process, what made us to do is also like we started building squads. So a designer, a product, and an engineer all sit together. What we are hoping for is the kind of serendipitous conversations that will happen when the group, the squad sits together. It's amazing the amount of context that you build, by listening to, by virtue of listening to other content that's happening. A developer typically listens to a support issue that is working with a support agent, right? So the designer looking into that, hearing that conversation, might make them think about, hey, why are we even doing this way? For example, one of the examples Sangeeta quoted, it's just, we used to do a lot and still we do. Okay. But we simply say that, hey, when you want to enable this feature, just reach out to us. We will enable it for you at the back end. And it would take at least 2 days for the customer to reach out to us and act on us. We will ask a bunch of questions and how are you doing it, what kind of variations that you want and everything. We will ask a bunch of questions to understand this environment, and then we will go and enable that. So it's 2 days to 3 days, and it's just people who want it badly. But we forget all of those who has the friction of having to log into an email, system and send it, you won't even get this feature in front of them unless and until we open it up for everybody. So how do we continuously make people to watch out for this? And those are the things that started happening when we started doing the squad. But still, it's a lot of work for us to do to make that work effectively. But these are the signals that we started building on to go on a bigger path, like how can we build a place where people empathize, have empathy towards the users and enable designers to carry that empathy in terms of their design. So now we have a team of 20 who has UX researcher to focus on discovery of product features. How do we ensure that we speak to at least 10 to 15 customers whenever we build something, and UX writers, when we have a famous saying internally, the copy is also a design, right? So how do we spend a lot of time on the right copy? It doesn't matter whether it's verbose or succinct. What is important is whether people get this message, right? Focusing on copy as early as the initial design is done. So those are changes started cropping up. Now we have started building a specialized roles for each of these, like UX researchers, UX writers, product designers, and all the way to system designers. So some of the tangible outcomes I would like to talk about over the period of, it all happened over a period of like 3 to 4 years. But one thing that happened is like we are rebuilding our front-end UI. These kind of a behavior, what happened is like our engineering has built the front end in a way that they can turn around for designs requests in less than 24 hours. Any pixel change the designer want to iterate. If you go back to Sangeeta's thing, how do the engineering enable the design to iterate on the things? So we built it in a way that the engineering can release any changes so quickly within a few hours to enable the designers to experiment and iterate. A lot has happened, and a lot of nice to have. So usually when you are racing against timeline, so things that you all got is nice to have. We categorize some of the features like nice to haves. Those nice to haves are being considered as must haves, as the design works closely with the product and empathy is built into the various functions. And the people have stopped giving a feedback about the UI, about direct feedback about it's not good and the button colors and all of those things. That has changed towards focusing on the problems. And also the engineers and the product guys consider the designer as a peer in solving the problem together. Now we have a pairing, and all three of them work together closely in bringing the solution. It's just not siloed for 3 different stages. So the result is that we strongly feel that we are on the path to being in design centric, but a lot of work had gone into making these changes, and that has to happen only when that can happen only if one of the founders back the designer to enable him to bring these changes into the organization over a period of time.
Thanks. We're not going to have a Q&A, okay? But you can clap over.